2 years after my marriage, I received a package from someone who termed himself as Special Anonymous. It was a brand new iPhone and a diamond necklace. The worth of the items got me lost and sealed my lips. I made to tell my husband, but each time I opened my mouth to talk, I found myself smiling instead. My husband, Charles, was a great man, and our 2 years of marriage was a bliss until I figured out the little problem in our relationship. Charles never deemed it fit to gift me something, even if he had the money to do so. Whenever I go online and see different videos of men taking their ladies out and sending them things like flowers, I always get sad. Charles was so uptight and plain. Most times when we conversed, it sounded so official that I usually wondered if I was talking to my boss. I wanted our marriage to be sweeter and less serious. I craved for a playmate, someone who would smack my ass and run around while I chase him. Charles was basically all about taking care of the home, and it was annoying. How much do you need for this month's expenses? I just transferred 200k. The driver will take you to the mall. That was how plain and boring our marriage was. Most times I wished he would buy me a gift, look into my eyes and tell me how much he loves me. But he never even stared at me for long.
And so, when I started getting romantic gestures from an anonymous stranger, it wasn't surprising that I felt butterflies in the pit of my stomach. Another time, I got a bouquet and a small note that said, "I hope you get reminded of how beautiful and sweet you are." My heart raced and my excitement was out of this world. It didn't take long before I started thinking of this anonymous stranger and how sweet life might be with him. I came back from work one afternoon and met my husband with a small box in his hands. He had a confused look on his face, just as he stared at me. Who sent this? He had asked. And my heart dropped. Telling my husband lies was never part of my plan when I decided to get married to him. But then, receiving presents from the anonymous stranger made me the greatest liar in the world. His sister must have sent that. She promised me a present sometime last month. I had lied and swiftly collected the box from him. Didn't look so convinced. But when he saw a bracelet, he wore a smile. It was not out of place for sisters to give themselves something of that nature, right? That night, I was on the bed, with Charles laying beside me. We just finished making love, but I still felt lost and empty. He took everything like a duty, not like love. In the middle of my solemnity, I picked up my phone and decided to go through my unread messages. Just then, my eyes caught sight of a message, and instantly, my heart raced. "Do you love the bracelet?" A small smile curved on my lips as I quickly typed, "Yes, thank you." "How did you get my number?" I asked. Unfortunately, he was not online. That night was the longest night I had in a while. I kept checking my phone for a message from him, but it never came. The next morning, Charles left for work after giving me a fast, duty-like kiss. Just a brief peck on my cheeks, and that was all. I sighed deeply and picked up my phone, patiently waiting for the anonymous stranger to reply my message. About 5 minutes later, my phone beeped. "Let's say I got your number from a colleague of yours. I won't tell you who, and I won't tell my name too." I read the message and chuckled calmly. I had quite a number of colleagues at office, and I was certain that one of them was stupid enough to give a stranger my contact, even if they knew I was married. "I will send you something today,"
I want you to know that it is from a heart that cherishes you, he said, and went offline.
Later that afternoon, I got a package at my workplace. It was a bag from Gucci. I almost screamed out of my lungs because I knew the worth. I got the package. I love it, I said in the text. And after a while, he dropped a heart emoji. I returned home later and met my husband in the living room. His eyes went to the package in my hands.
Your sister again?
Sister again? He asked. And I gulped down hard.
I bought this one myself now. I ordered it online and they just delivered it today.
I said with a bright smile.
I thought it's only at the end of the month you shop.
He said.
I couldn't wait to get this one.
I replied, and he nodded.
My conversation with Mr. Special Anonymous started becoming more frequent. And slowly, I found myself drifting away from Charles. I would be in the living room with my phone in my hands, waiting for a text from him. And no, he never called me, and I was just fine with the text. Most times I chatted with Special Anonymous, I would observe Charles glaring at me from the dining. He knew something was taking my attention, but didn't have the nerve to ask. And so, life went on. I loved everything about this anonymous stranger, even if I've never seen him. He always told me how beautiful I looked and how he watched me from a distance. When are we going to see? I always asked, but he would laugh and say, at the right time. My chats with him became the best thing that happened to me in a while. It made me so happy that I was beginning to think of how I would file a divorce with Charles when I finally see this anonymous stranger. I didn't care about what he might look like, because from the type of gifts he sent and how sweet he was in the chats, it was clear. One day, my friend suggested tracking the location of the number. And even if I didn't see the need to, I decided to have fun with it. She called a guy who helped out with the job.
Hello.
Number 5 Greenland
I've checked the number.
Avenue.
The location I'm
The guy
seeing
had
here
said,
is
looking
number
into
5
the
Greenland
computer.
Avenue.
Eh? Number 5, Greenland Avenue.
I knew I had just heard incorrectly. Yes, that is my house. How do you know it's where I live? I had asked the guy, whose lips parted in shock. That's where the person lives? I stuttered in shock, while he nodded in affirmation. I got back home that evening with my heart beating out of Chioma Nkem, my chest. I didn't believe what that guy said. And so, I went through Charles' phone. There was no proof of that day. Something directed me to his bag that was on top of the wardrobe. Immediately I searched through it. I found a phone. From all what I saw inside the phone, it was clear that Special Anonymous was Charles. I froze, trembled, and couldn't think. I didn't even get a wind of that. How? Why? All these were questions in my head, but it didn't stop the fact that I lied to him about the packages that came from him. There on the spot, I recalled a time when we first met. He had told me that he found it hard to express love to someone he loved. It became clear now. He decided to become anonymous to give me what I wanted. I cried my eyes out because it dawned on me that I betrayed my husband. He hasn't said a word to me since then. Neither have I too. We still live as we always did, but I'm certain that when the matter comes to the surface, I would lose him. He remained silent for a complete month. Charles never acted as though he knew something was up. And on my part, I tried to keep up with the pretense. But how long was I going to continue with that?
The thing was that I lied to him, and he knew. The earlier things get sorted out, the better for us and our marriage. The anonymous messages didn't stop either. The only difference was that I stopped replying to it. I knew that doing that would trigger his suspicions, but what was I meant to do? I couldn't think of anything because my head was blank, and I was scared that doing the wrong thing would cost me my home. Most times, after he left for work, I would sit by the mirror and break into tears. I felt the guilt eating deep into my soul, and thoughts of how Charles might be feeling killed me. He was definitely suffering emotionally, but wasn't ready to bring it up. One day, during breakfast, I finally decided to tell him the truth. I didn't want to damage our marriage with any more lies, and so the best thing was to come clean. I cleared my throat for almost 5 times, after which I looked at him. He was focused on his meal, barely looking at me as usual. I have something to say, I said, and watched how he looked up, with his eyebrows scrunched in confusion.
Is it about the home? Is something wrong? He asked. And again, my heart dropped. I could feel that he knew what was going on, but his refusal to say a word about it threw me into a total state of confusion. I swallowed hard and wore a smile instead, shoving aside everything I had wanted to say. Honestly, I was scared of losing my home. I knew I had thought of filing a divorce some time ago, but at this point, I saw a great need to hold on and fight for my marriage with all my might. The next day, I got a package from the Special Anonymous. My heart dropped and raced out of my chest. With a sweaty face, I opened it and saw a portrait of me, beautifully crafted. It was one of the pictures I had on my Instagram page. I blew out hot air and tried to think of what to do. This was obviously a game, and since I knew the trick, it was best for me to use that as a means to win. At this, I picked up my phone and sent a message to the anonymous number. I have a husband. You should stop sending me gifts. I typed in with my hands shaking fervently. But I thought you loved the gifts. You told me you did. And you also mentioned that you don't mind divorcing your husband because he is not what you want, he replied. My heart instantly flew out of my chest as I checked up and started panting heavily. What was Charles up to? He came back home that evening and met the portrait on the bed. For the first time, he didn't ask me where it came from. I had prepared myself to tell him that an anonymous stranger has been sending me packages, but when he didn't ask, I couldn't talk further. I didn't understand the game he was playing, but I knew there was a need to tread carefully. I walked into the room one morning and met him searching his bag. "What are you looking for?" I asked, and he sighed deeply. "Thomas left one of his phones in my bag yesterday. This is the second time he is doing something like this, and I don't know why," Charles replied. And for a minute, I thought that I've heard wrongly. Deep down, I felt a sudden swirl of excitement. If his friend left his phone in his bag, it could mean that the Special Anonymous was my husband's friend, right? I was confused here, so confused that I could barely think. I just remained quiet and observed him. I was already beginning to think of how to meet up with his friend and talk things out with him if he really was the anonymous stranger. I would just meet him and tell him how much I love my husband and how I never intended to be with him. After which, I would then tell my husband about it. That would take away some of the guilt and make things easier to get settled. When he finally brought out the phone, it was different from the one I saw that day.
I sighed deeply when I figured out that prolonging this game had no use. My husband was the special anonymous. He sent me those gifts and messages but was only pretending. This I sat down on the bed and folded my hands to my chest.
Special anonymous, I started, with a voice that almost sounded like a whisper. He froze and slowly swirled around to face me. The look in his eyes gave him away. He tried to battle with his emotions but gave up and wore a small frown. "When did you know?" he asked, darting his eyes away from me as if he couldn't bear looking into my eyes. I swallowed hard and replied, "About a month ago. I only wanted to make you happy. I never thought that you would stab me on my back in such manner," he said. And for the first time since I got married to him, I felt the hurt in his voice. Without saying a single word, I dropped on my knees and broke into tears. "I didn't mean it when I said that you weren't what I wanted. I just got carried away," I cried out, watching how he took in a deep breath and chuckled calmly. At first, my only intention was to give you gifts anonymously.
But when I saw something more, I decided to make it a game and see how far you would go, he continued, and again, my heart dropped. "I'm sorry. I just got carried away with the gift because you never do such for me," I explained. "That's because I find it hard to express myself. I love you, but it's hard to show you that. I was trying," he yelled out of his lungs, breathing in fury. "I tried to be the best husband I could be, but you betrayed me," he shouted again, and I shivered.
"No, it's hard, but I need you to forgive me. I was just in need of affection, that was all." I whimpered, and for a minute, silence rented the air. We stared at each other for what seemed like ages, after which he walked out of the room in rage. I knew it. I knew that the minute the matter comes to the surface, I would lose my home. My predictions were correct because Charles got so angry, and it was obvious that he won't forgive me. I got the greatest shock of my life that evening. He walked into the house with a bouquet and a package in his hands. This was the first time something of such ever happened since I got married to him. He looked nervous as he handed them over to me. With a confused look, I stared at him. "I'm sorry. I just realized that this isn't that hard. I know you wouldn't have gone so far with the chats if I was doing this for you," he said. And my jaws dropped in surprise. We got better and slowly started learning how to communicate each other's needs. This is a tale close to my heart, but in all, I'm glad I didn't lose my marriage.